The pandemic changed all of our lives and kept a lot of us home for a lot longer than we're used to. And with so much downtime, more people picked up hobbies over the last year. According to a Lending Tree survey, 6 in 10 Americans picked up a new hobby. And one of the more popular ones is birdwatching. So today I spoke with Miyoko, a consultant on the new book Celebrating Birds, about what birdwatching has to offer all of us. So birdwatching seems to have become all the rage during the pandemic. Why is that, you think, that so many people are getting into it?
Well, the pandemic has really been truly awful this year, but I really think that nature has provided a bright spot for a lot of people. Nature is open 24/7. It's been open throughout the pandemic. And all you have to do is step outside and see these amazing creatures that bring people so much joy.
They're all around us, right? If we just stop and take a minute to appreciate what is in front of us. And there are an incredible number of birds and a variety of birds in the United States, including in places like Central Park in the middle of New York City. So how can people at home, wherever they are, get into bird watching?
Well, that's the great part. Birds are pretty much everywhere you look. And I think it's partly because people have been home more during the pandemic. They started to notice the birds that have been around them the entire time. But just when you start to listen and look, you really see how many there are right in your own neighborhood. You just step outside, open your eyes and ears, and you'll be bound to discover something new.
What's your favorite bird, or one of them, and why?
I feel like there's a different favorite bird depending on the week, but I'll tell you what my favorite is this week. It's the eastern screech owl, because we have a little family of screech owls right in our ordinary neighborhood up the street. And it's just amazing to think that most people may not even see these owls when they walk by in the street, but there they are, just living out their lives yards away from the car traffic.
So how do you train your eye to see these birds, and any animal really that's around us?
Well, really, it's just a matter of noticing if there's a bit of movement or a bit of sound. Just look and listen, and if you just even spend a few minutes, you're likely to see them doing something interesting, whether it's singing or fighting or eating. There's just constant activity once you take a look.
Yeah, I've been watching those bald eagles in Big Bear in California, and there's a family. It's really like watching a soap opera. You see the father come home, bring the fish, you see fights, you see babies being born, you see all kinds of things.
Yeah, birds are incredibly dedicated parents. And if you are able to watch a nest even on your porch or one of these live bird cams, you see how incredibly dedicated they are at feeding and protecting their young. And you can see that right in front of your very eyes.
But sadly, a lot of these amazing creatures are endangered or at risk of becoming extinct. What can people do to help?
There's a lot of things you can do to help, because some of the biggest sources of declines for birds include habitat loss. So thinking about making your yard or neighborhood bird friendly with native plants, or putting up a nest box, keeping your cats indoors, because cats kill a lot of birds and it's actually safer indoors for cats too. Or even making your windows less reflective with films or strings can help prevent collisions that kill up to 1 billion birds every year.
Wow, 1 billion birds. Okay, so I want to talk about this book. You worked on it. It's an amazing book. It has beautiful pictures, and my favorite part is the audio that goes with it, because it actually has bird sounds. And can you actually recognize bird sounds when you hear them?
I can recognize the ones that I hear frequently, but just like most people, when I hear a new sound, it's so intriguing and I really want to know what it is.
How long did it take for you to actually start identifying which bird was making which sound?
Well, you can do it pretty quickly just by watching birds and then associating which bird you're seeing with which bird you're hearing. So you can learn that in one day, but it can also take a lifetime to learn all the different songs of all the birds that are out there.
Yeah, it's a very expansive field. Last question for you. What can people learn from birds?
People can learn that birds are resilient. They face so many challenges, but every time we just give them a chance by giving them good habitat or making sure that we're not interfering with their lives, they just can really soar and give people so much joy. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that birds really tell us about the health of our environment. So when they're thriving, it means that people and other wildlife can thrive too.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on. Dr. Miyoko Chu, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.